Hi students, welcome to your computer class. So today we are going to start with our first chapter, that is chapter 1, categories of computers and computer languages. So in this session we are going to cover categories of computers. Before going into the topic, I would like to discuss an example. You use different bags, right, depending upon your requirements. For example, when you go to a school, you carry a school bag. Same way, when you go for a sports activity, you carry a sports bag. Likewise, when you go to a trip or a truck, you use a trekking bag. So the bags depend and differ in size, shape, requirements, storage capacity, and cost. Likewise, these computers are also designed and categorized according to their size, speed, storage capacity, requirements, and cost. Now you're clear with how the computers are categorized and designed. Considering that, now we will discuss the types of computers. First one is microcomputers, second one mini computers, third one mainframe computers, and fourth one we have supercomputers. In this chapter you are going to learn these four types of computers, and in this session I will be discussing or covering microcomputers and the types of microcomputers that are being used. We will start with microcomputers. So what are these microcomputers? Microcomputers are the computers which are small in size and less in cost. As the name suggests, micro means small. So these computers are preferably small in size and less in cost. They are usually designed for personal use, like you can use it in home, offices, schools, etc. So that's why we call it as personal computers or PCs. The examples of these kind of computers are Commodore 64, IBM PC. Different types of microcomputers. Now we'll cover different types of microcomputers. First one, as you already know, desktop computers. You are familiar with it because we use it in our school. So what are these desktop computers? These computers fits comfortably on the top of the desks. That's why we call that name desktop computers, because they comfortably fit on the top of the desks. And these computers have several units. What are these units? Monitor, CPU, keyboard, and mouse, which are connected to each other and work like a single unit. Next microcomputer is laptop computer. As the name suggests, these computers we can place on our lap. These computers are small in size and can be placed on the lap. These are battery operated and portable. That is, you can carry it anywhere and you need not connect it to electricity all the time. And these laptop computers are more expensive than desktop computers. Laptop computers usually have a 13 to 15 inch screen. The monitor size will be of 13 to 15 inch. Next one is palm top computer. These computers are small in size and it literally fits in the palm of your hand. This device has similar features as that of a computer, and it has a small screen. It has got a small screen and a compressed keyboard. You can see in the picture only. Some of these devices will have keyboard as an input device. Some of these computers will not have keyboard. Instead of that, it will be using a touch screen and a pen as input and output interface. These computers are preferably used as phone books, calendars and all. It is limited in use compared to full-size computers, but still it can be kept in pockets and can be used as phone books, calendars, calculators, etc. So this is all about palm top computers. Handheld devices. As in the name, a handheld computer or a device is a portable device. You can carry it anywhere that is small enough to be held in one's hand. Example of handheld device is very much known to you, that is smartphone and game console. We discussed palm top computers previously, that is also a handheld device. So these are the devices one can conveniently hold in their hand or in pockets and operate the same. You can see the definition: devices that are small in size and can be easily held in the hand or conveniently carried in the pockets. The handheld devices or computers are also called personal digital assistants or PDAs. It has got one more name, that is personal digital assistants or PDAs. These devices either have a touch-enabled display screen as their input or output interface or a simple display unit with a keyboard. These devices, you can compare the same with smartphones. In smartphones, you have touch screen only as input as output also. For both input and output, we have touch screen as the interface. That is what been told here. But in some devices you will have other controls. For game console it will be joystick, those things, or for palm top computers it will be keyboard, a compressed keyboard. Same way it differs from one system or one device to another. Okay, the main thing about handheld devices is you can carry it in your hand and can operate the same in hand. We will be discussing about smartphones and game console in detail. As I mentioned, now we are going to learn about smartphone and game console. So what is a smartphone? You know what is a smartphone? It is a mobile phone. It is a mobile phone that can do more than what a phone does. They work as a computer but are mobile devices small enough to fit in user's hand. It combines the features of personal computer with other features of mobile phones. Like, what are the features of a common mobile phone? You can make text messages, you can have calls, you can receive calls, you can make calls. So that features will be included. Along with that, we use computer, right? The features which a computer provides, that also will be included, like browsing, viewing videos, gaming, all those things. So combination of both computer and mobile phone, we have got smartphone. That's why we call it smartphone. Next one is game console. Game console is a device which is specially made for playing games. So a player, the one who plays game, can interact with the game through controller. What are these controller? It can be a button, joystick buttons, or a pad, etc. All these are the controllers with which you can interact with the game. Video and sound are received through to the gamer through television speakers and through mobile phones, which you can, if you connect this game console to television and mobile phones, you can get the video and audio through that. So this is how a game console works. It can be connected to television or a computer using a handheld computer, sorry. Examples of game console is Sony PlayStation. It is very famous. Maybe you people will be using Sony PlayStation, Nintendo GameCube, and Nintendo Wii, Xbox, and all. All these are the examples of game console. Next one is embedded system. You will not be familiar with this term embedded system. Embedded means implant or insert. This system will be implanted or inserted into some other device, other system. So before explaining what is embedded system, you can see the pictures. How does it look like? You can see that. So this is a picture of embedded system. This will have a chip. We'll insert this into bigger systems like microwave oven, washing machine, etc. You can see the definition. An embedded system is one that has computer hardware with software. It has got an hardware. Along with that, you will have a software also embedded or implanted into a larger device like washing machine, microwave oven, etc. Automatic washing machine, microwave oven, all these systems will have embedded system in it. That is, inside those system you will have this embedded or implanted system in that. It has all essential computer components. Whatever a computer should have, the components what a computer should have will be there in embedded system also. Like, it will have a CPU for processing, RAM and ROM for storage, input and output medium. But it does not have a disk drive, keyboard or a screen. Okay, disk drive, local disk, CD, all those are the disk drive. You will not have that in embedded system, and you will not have a keyboard, and you will not have a screen in that, but you have other kind of input and output medium in embedded system. The devices which use embedded systems are TV sets, vehicles, telephones, digital cameras, washing machines, microwave ovens and medical equipments. We are done with explaining microcomputers and the different types of microcomputers, its definition, its functions and all the specifications. Now I will be telling you some interesting facts about computers. So first one, you can see the picture over here. This is a computer. This is a computer, but this is not a microcomputer. It is a supercomputer. What is special about this computer? Summit. Its name is Summit, and Summit is the fastest supercomputer in the world. As per June 8, 2018, it is developed by IBM for use at Oak Ridge National Laboratory, USA. So as per June 8, 2018, Summit is the fastest supercomputer in the world. Next one, you can see a picture of a lady. Her name is Lady Ada Lovelace. She was a mathematician and she is regarded as the first computer programmer. She was the one who has done the first computer programming. She was the daughter of famous English poet Lord Byron. Next you have John W. Tukey's picture here. The term software was first used by John W. Tukey in 1957. So these are the interesting facts about computers and software and hardware terms. So you can also search in Google and Google it out, the interesting facts about computers, supercomputers, different types of computers, etc. So these are the things which is mentioned in textbook. So we have come to the end of the session. I hope you're clear with all the things which we have discussed, all the topics which we have discussed. So I will give you a quick revision of what we have covered so far. First, we were discussing categories of computers. The topic which we were discussing was categories of computers and how the computers were categorized and the types of computers we use. The types of computers were mini computers, microcomputers, mainframe computers and supercomputers. We covered only microcomputers in this session, the specification and characteristics of microcomputers and the different types of microcomputers that we use and its specification also. So we discussed only about microcomputers. The next session we will have other computers, that is mini computers, mainframe computers and supercomputers. So if you have got any doubts, you can clarify it and you can go through Google also. You can Google and search out other interesting facts about these kind of computers. So we are done. Thank you.